Hi, everybody. This is Alex, and this is just an impromptu Ask Alex. All we're trying to do is just see if the login stuff works. We had some issues yesterday, and I think Andy burned the midnight oil. He said, "Oh, I'll have it done by next week," and then he, of course, did it in a couple hours because he's Andy. So anyway, so we think it's fixed. We're hoping that you're going to help us figure that out, and we'll take some of the questions that we had from the last one here. So we had a couple questions that were here, and I'm going to turn off my options here. A couple of questions. Of course, Andy asked, hello from London, how Interstellar Hangout go, and I thought it went great. It was actually one of my favorites to put together. I'm a big space fan. I did call a shuttle solid rocket a Saturn V, which is wrong by about 3 or 4 times the size, so it was a little embarrassing. But other than that, I didn't do it on air, so that was always good. So anyway, it's good. It went well. Next question. Let's see here. So I didn't answer. So there's the answer there. I'm sorry, I'm a little out of. And then the next question that we have here, and hopefully we'll get some new ones. But these are old ones that were in there. But I'm going to answer. Chad Lafarge said, how was the connection on an Interstellar? The connection, as with all Hangouts, was different for everybody. We had, some people that were remote probably didn't have as good a connection as we would have preferred. Most of them were done pretty well. We worked pretty hard on it. We have a whole team that, works on that with people before the event. And especially in that one, I think there was solid 11, 12 people, I think, that we had in the Hangout, maybe more. And there was possibly even more than that didn't end up in it. And so it takes, it's an incredible Anna and Danielle and lots of other folks, Michael, all doing tests. It's a lift to make that work. So anyway, but the connection there was pretty good. The hard part sometimes you'll see stalling between the cameras, and that's really just the temporal compression of the Hangout. And so, it's just when you're cutting between cameras and trying to make it a real production, it can be, sometimes the frame rate drops anyway, just because it's not really built for what we're doing. Next question is from Danielle. Hi, Danielle. What was the most challenging aspect of setting up the production in the Air and Space Museum? I would say that the most challenging part was actually the time we had to load in. So we just had a very, very short amount of time to load in, and that required a lot of pre-planning, testing for days to make sure that we were able to, like, all the cameras were, I spent hours on the cameras to make sure that they were all color matched, and we really figured out lengths of cables. We built it in our office, in our warehouse, to make sure that everything was really working, make sure that it was all ready to go. That was all a lot of pre-pro that we did to make sure that we could load in very, very quickly. In the end, that actually, worked out really well. It wasn't too much of a problem there, but it worked out because we spent a lot of time on it. Next question here. Let's see here. Oops, hit the wrong button. Next question here is when to use green screen. This is from Stephen Dainty. When to use green screen and when to sit your talent in front of a big computer monitor. So why should you do one or the other? So what I would say is, if you really know what your background's going to be, it's a lot easier just to put someone in front of a computer monitor. So if you really know, if you already know what the image is going to be and you're sure of it, and the person's not going to move a lot, and even with the green screen, that could be the same challenge. It's one of those things that, that's why you put someone in front of a, it's done. When you shoot it in front of a monitor, it's done. You have a lot of control over it too. Glare is one problem. So a lot of times you'll take that monitor and just bend it down a little bit so that you can make sure that it's not picking up a lot of the lights. But most insert studios, so almost everybody you see on whether it's anybody that's not in the studio, they're in an insert studio, and all of those are monitors. And so almost all of them. I mean, occasionally they're using green screens, but green screen for live, I think, makes some sense occasionally if you really want to be changing stuff. But even for that, I think you get a higher quality image most of the time, unless you're using 444 Ultimate to make that work. And so anyway, let me say done here, and let's see. I think we're testing it here. Let's see. We haven't had a lot of people join. I don't know. Let's see. There are 11 of you watching. If you're watching this, please go to bit.ly / I don't know if I can Well, there's a good way to do that. If you're watching this, it'd be great for you to try to either let us know that you're having trouble logging in, or to actually log in. Oh, let's see here. And let's see. And we are testing away. Hopefully, people are able to get into the system here. Let me see if I'm going to check for notifications, find out if people are. Let's see here. And let us know if you're in Hazu right now and you're watching this. It'd be great if you actually jump into the. Oh, there we go. Look at that. There we go. We got a couple people asking questions. So looks like the system may be working. We just want to make sure. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit thanks to Hazu. There we go. And please kick the tires. Vote on some questions if you feel like it. So the next one here is from Alfred Lowe, and he said, "Hey Alex, have you tested the i5 or i7 iMac 5K? We're planning to get those next week, so we kind of worked it out. We're going to swap some stuff in and out and everything, and so we're going to test them. And we would only get i7s. I kind of feel like if I'm going to spend money, we use our computers for a long time." And so we just kind of feel like let's get just about the fastest thing we can get. So processor and usually a reasonable amount of RAM. The hard drives are less important to us, but because we use a lot of external hard drives, we don't really care what's on the computer typically. But that is, we haven't tested them yet, but we're going to test them soon. But I'll let you know. Next time I do ask Alex, not next week, but the week after, ask me again, and I'll tell you what we think of them. Next question here is from Steve Fornell. Will you sell this system? Eventually, yes. So we're still figuring it out. We're using it in a handful of places. We're trying to figure out how it's sitting on the cloud. So we're trying to figure out how much it costs to actually run the event. We're still obviously nailing some little bugs and pieces and working on the architecture. We've got great people, Andy, of course, and Matt, working on this stuff, and it's great. A great set of people working on it, and so we just want to make sure the infrastructure is really ready to go, and that everything's ready to move forward before we start trying to charge for it. So right now we're just using it in places that make sense, and testing it and doing little tests like this. And then the Final Cut user group is testing really how we use it inside of a show, and then as we're going to start building classes around this soon, so that we can kind of use it as an architecture for that. And you guys should tell us whether you think that makes sense. But one of the things that we're really looking at is this process of using this as part of a class. You could watch a video class, for instance, on how to do green screen, which we've done some tests on, but we're going to do a more refined version. And definitely put comments into Hazu right now if you think that's a good idea. But the idea is if you can't make it here, if you make it here, you get to play with the cameras and meet everybody and hang out and we'll all have dinner and stuff like that. But if you can't, the idea is to give you another option so that you can actually be part of the class, ask questions, vote on questions, so on and so forth. So let's see here. Next question. It's a good question there. And the next question is from Chad Calgano from Pittsburgh. I was just there. I was at the Steeler game last Sunday. It was awesome. Anyway, so can we get coffee next time you're in Pittsburgh? Also, is Hangouts the best live stream platform in your opinion? I think, and your opinion. Definitely up for coffee. I live outside of Pittsburgh, but I actually work in Pittsburgh. So when I'm there, I'm near. I'm not too far from like Chatham College or Carnegie Mellon, kind of in that Shady Side, area. So anyway, but definitely happy to have a coffee. And as far as Hangouts being the best live streaming platform, I think they're the easiest. When it comes to just like, I just want to do a stream, I just turn it on and it all works. And, I just, like what we're doing right now, I just turn it on and there you go. If you want to have someone interact, it's really great. Because now I could bring other people in for these Ask Alexes. One of the things I want to do with the Ask Alexes, if I actually turn it into something real, is do an Ask Alex and actually get somebody to be on the Ask Alex with me. And then it's not really Ask Alex, it's Ask somebody else, Ask Joe, you know, but it's me having a conversation with them and then managing questions. And so we're kind of thinking about how to play with that. And so Hangouts are really good for that. I think that, you know, when you start deciding you want to do more, when you start deciding that you want to do something more complicated, you know, you want more production value. I think that I'm just starting to test the new Wirecast, which is really cool. And so I think Wirecast as a turnkey, not very expensive, throw it on your computer, use your webcam and another camera and a desktop, all those things, I'm pretty bullish on. In fact, the Ask Alex that I do on Monday will definitely use the Wirecast. So we're going to test Wirecast with that. So I'm going to have some graphics and some lower thirds and do a bunch of cool things. So we're going to play with that as well. Good question. And next one here from Benjamin Yoroch from Wisconsin. Will I assume a stable Hazu system be linked to YouTube, or will it be portable to other CDNs? Hazu is pretty much agnostic to the other CDN. So this isn't, we happen to be using YouTube partially because YouTube automatically records with the same link and makes it very easy for us to just kind of put it in. But we've used this with Ustream, with I think BitGravity. I think we've tried ones. I mean, it doesn't, you know, all of those ones are all of those live stream. And because really the window that you're watching the video on is just a window to us. It doesn't have to be YouTube. It's just really anywhere we can find a stream. So, so that's a pretty straightforward thing from our perspective. So anyway, that's you know, you can do it with a lot of things, and that opens up a lot of possibilities. But that's so it can be working with any CDN at the moment. Next question here. Oops, I hit the wrong button. There we go. This is from Nathan Fulmer, and he said, hello from PA, rock and roll. Google Plus login from a mobile phone is working fine. Everything looks good on mobile. Bravo. Woohoo! Thanks, Nathan. I really appreciate it. That's we were hoping to knock out this little bug that we had yesterday. We have, of course, the Final Cut user group tomorrow on Tuesday, and we wanted to make sure that, you know, it actually, you know, works. So so that was good. So it looks like things are working well. We're really glad all you guys are willing to just jump on with a moment's notice and check it out. Next question here is again from Benjamin Yoroch. Is it Yaroch? Yaroch. You have to put that in the comments. Tell me how to say that. Anyway, so speaking of CDNs, what might you suggest for a 2-day conference for a nonprofit with limited budget that wants less invasive commercials than Ustream? I mean, if you're not going to run any ads, I mean, really a great platform is YouTube. I mean, it's free. You can use the built-in Wirecast app with a webcam to do it, or you can put cameras into it with a simple, you know, interface. I mean, all you need now. Hold on. A second. See this? This is it. This is it. This is all it takes. So, you know, you can be doing with a mini recorder. You plug your SDI or HDMI in, whatever camera you have. You could put a mixer in front of it. We got a mixer under somewhere, I think, but put it somewhere. Anyway, but the point is that $1,500, you can be, you know, plugging a couple cameras in and off you go. Now, of course, as soon as you, you know, and if you already have video stuff, then you're set. So I think that, you know, Ustream is good. We've seen there's a lot of things that Ustream is really good at reach. You know, they have a really good system to get it out to everyone, and really expand it. And so the numbers you see on Ustream are really high. I think that discoverability sometimes and promotability is getting much better on YouTube, but I think they're still working on that. But YouTube is, I mean, it looks gorgeous, and it's an HD, and it's all the different formats, and it's something it's a turnkey system, and it's, you know, it's a really good deal. And so, and the software is free, so it's just, that's my suggestion there. Next one. Oops. This is from Grant Whitehead. What are your thoughts on the TriCast Mini. I don't have any opinions about the TriCaster Mini because I haven't tried it yet. So, you know, we are, I'm very interested. We're looking at possibly getting a TriCaster for our studio in Petaluma. And so anyway, so we're looking at TriCasters. We hadn't used them a lot in the past, but we're planning to start playing with some TriCasters. There's just a lot of capability there that we want to test. Next question is from Andy. Have you changed your mind on your iPhone 6 Plus? You're just rubbing it in, Andy. You're just rubbing it in. That's all I got to say. Yes, I'm probably gonna get it. So this is my 6 Plus is too big. I can't put it in a lot of my pockets, and I keep on putting it down, and I don't carry it the same way. It's really just my behavior has changed, and not in a good way. My producer is sitting right here, and she's not impressed when I don't pick up the phone because I put it on the outside pocket, and then it always buzzes. Because if you're doing production on set, you never just turn your phone ringer off all the time. So when it buzzes, I don't hear it. I love it. It's a cool thing, but it's changed my behavior in a way that's not good. So I'm going to go to the 6, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this one yet, but we'll figure it out. Next one is YouTube tears down an instances after idle for a few hours, which means I need 2 URLs for the event, which is not a great option. And it's Yark, okay, Benjamin Yark. Yeah, if you're idle for a few hours, now what you can do, of course, is if you have that situation, you can put up a slate and just leave it streaming. I mean, unless you have to turn it off, that's the other option. The other thing you can do is if you're not able to do that at that location, you can, you could literally turn off an encoder at one location and turn it on somewhere else just to hold the space. You can have it go off and come on somewhere else. If you really want to get technical about it, you could have one go in as a backup and the other one be primary, and you could drop it and it'll be almost seamless for the viewer to switch it. We have done that in the past. So anyway, so that's something to consider there. Next question is from Alfred Lowe. Which sous vide food sealer machines do you have? Also, have you backed any Kickstarters lately? I use the Sous Vide Supreme. It's just the basic box that was like $400 or something, and that's great. I don't remember which sealer I have. It's a pretty big industrial sealer. It costs almost as much as the Sous Vide did, but I use that one. There's part of me that thinks they make some bags that you can actually push the oxygen out of and then seal them for sous vide, and I think that that's probably a better way to go a lot of times. But the sealer works. I just feel like it's a lot of, it's not, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But sealer works well, and that's how I do it right now. I can't think of the name of the sealer. I'll try to find it. Try to figure out where that is. The next one. Chad Lafarge in Colombia says, by the way, this video resolution is excellent on YouTube. I can turn it down to 360 and it's still comparable to many Hangouts present. If you're talking about this one, okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Part of it is my background isn't very complicated. That helps the Hangout. I'm not moving a lot. That helps the Hangout. I'm using a standard, this is just an Apple TV, not Apple TV, it's just a Mac thing. I have reasonably good bandwidth, but not great bandwidth. I mean, it's good enough. It's as much as the Hangout's using. So I don't know what makes this one different. We would almost never use the built-in webcams on these computers because we use something usually nicer. I'm trying to see if I have one laying around here. Now, could you grab that put both at 920 and 930? So this is the what we usually use for a lot of our stuff. This is the Cisco Precision HD. And then we have this is the C930 and the C920. Still not as good in some ways as the 910, in my opinion, but they have quarter 20s on the bottom, which I'm addicted to because you just put them on little tripods. The interesting thing, group of people, so one person, the bestest. This is 50 degrees or 51 degrees, 50-degree view. It's much better for people. They don't look so strange. Second best is 920. Remember that with the 920, with webcam settings or the Logitech, you can zoom in a little bit. You can, so that you can get something that's closer to the Precision HD. That's what I actually did for MacBreak. If you look at MacBreak last week, I actually popped in and then, from a 920. 930 is great for a lot of people, but you want to, again, think about clicking in a little bit because it makes people look really fish-eyed because it's 100 or whatever 90-degree field of view. So you have to think about that. If you're getting a whole group or a big room, the 930 is great. 920 is a little better there natively, but then you can always subsample those, and that's a lot of people seem to like Mac Break last week, so I guess that worked. Next question. This is from Nathan Fulmer. He said, Ben, we ran a 3-day fishing tournament weigh-in with Wirecast and YouTube from one URL. You should be fine with long pauses. You could get long pauses. I just don't know. It does. There is a point. I don't know exactly what time where it decides that you're no longer interested, and it will kill the stream. So it is something that's there. But yeah, you can do it. The problem we have with our encoders is in DC. I can turn my encoder on in DC from Petaluma, and I'll turn it on for tests, and then I just forget about it. Then it just keeps on streaming. Whatever. Sometimes black for weeks. So you have to be paying attention to that. So. All right, next one is from this is from Richard Doomer from Paducah, Kentucky. Looks good in Kentucky. 4 megabits down. Good video and audio. Excellent. So and we're not really doing anything here. This is just my Mac. There's no mic. There's no nothing. I'm just kind of turning it on. So I'm glad that it's working. Also from Steve Fornell, first time here. What are the graphics at the bottom of the video? So the graphics at the bottom of the video, that is actually the rate at which, so the little dots that are there are actually the little dots that are there are actually when I answered the questions and how popular those questions are in relative to each other that I answered them. So that was the and so that's what that graphic is, and then the other graph is how many people are asking questions per minute. So it's like a little graph to tell you how that's it's just something we're kind of playing with at the moment. And I also have things called agenda items. I'll show you one. Let's try this. I will. Have an agenda item. For some reason, I don't have. It's for Andy to see here. I don't have a way to turn it on. I think it's because we turned it on previously to test something. So we'll have to figure that out. Let's go ahead and go to the next one here. So with Chad Lafarge, he said, I saw freezing that you mentioned, but noted that it was freezing across the entire film strip as well as the main feed. Assume something was funny on YouTube, and if it does do it across the entire feed, it could be YouTube. It still could be related to all the temporal movement and everything else. And so, I think that I'm not. I think that might be the case. So we're doing a lot of things with a Hangout that is not designed for. So I think it puts a lot of pressure on it. And somehow there I did got the Interstellar to pop up. I'm not sure what I did there. That's the link to the Interstellar we all keep on talking about. And you can see that it's a different color. That's something that I can kind of save. I can have a bunch of them. You'll see on Monday and on Tuesday, you'll see a lot more of that. Dick Wild says, why aren't you using the Ego Pro Lite today, which we use a lot? And, this was just kind of an impromptu little question and answer because I'm testing the system. So I will have better lights on Monday and Tuesday. And Tuesday we'll have a lot of lights. But on Monday we'll have just better lights than what we have right now. So I just wanted to see if the system worked and see if anyone would actually show up. And it all seems to be working nice now. I'm almost running out of questions. If there aren't any questions soon, I'm gonna end. I gotta end at 11 anyway. I got another meeting to go to. But so next one. I think this will be the last one or second to last one. If someone asks another question. Hey, hi Alex. It's coming in clear here in Scottsdale. This is Bill Davis. Seems to refresh fine. Excellent. So anyway, that's good to know. And I'm really glad that all of the stuff is working now. So that's good. And Steve Fernell said that they agree the video is good. Text update on Safari is jumpy. That's interesting. That's good. That's good feedback. Thank you very much for that. This is the last two questions, so you don't have to ask anymore. So I got to go. Hyperlinks should open in a new window. Oh, they don't open in a new window right now? Yeah, they should. They should open a new window. If they open in the same one, we'll take a look at that. And Geomeek said that Works great, and thank you for sharing. My pleasure. I love doing these. These are kind of fun. They're very relaxing for me. So, and I like the fact that they just go everywhere. You know, we're talking about sous vide, and then we're talking about Hangouts. You can really ask any question you want. So, well, within reason. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching, and thank you for testing this. I really appreciate it on Saturday, just jumping on the computer and coming to hang out. I'm going to do another one on Monday. I will announce it a little later today because I'm going to announce it a little later today because I got to figure out, I got a production that I'm kind of working through, so I got to make sure I can do it. I'll answer these last two questions before I end. Like, you know, you still got another minute. What is the cylindrical cam that I use? Precision HD. This is a Cisco Precision HD. It is more expensive. It's like the cost of like a little camera, but it looks great. So that's a great one. And then the last one here is Mick Mal Daddy says, I'm nervous about getting the base config iMac 5K. Probably going to get the loaded non-Retina model. Thoughts? Now we get the loaded Retina model. So that's, you know, that's what I do. So, you know, we're using it for production. If you're using them at home, I wouldn't get the base one. I'd probably get something a little bit. And if you decide you really want power over the absolute performance, and there are some, I know some friends that have had a couple issues with the monitors, so they're still, you know, knocking out the kinks of that process. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you guys. I really appreciate coming to test, and I will talk to some of you probably on Monday and some of you on Tuesday. I'm doing at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard. We'll be doing the Final Cut user group, virtual user group, and so come join us there. And then I'll let you know on Twitter or Facebook Twitter, Facebook, and G+ when we're doing the event on Monday. And to do another test of this, but I'll be testing some other stuff like a Wacom tablet. Can't see it. There it is. Wacom tablet. And Wirecast and everything else. So there'll be a bunch of other things that I'm testing on Monday. So thanks, guys.